you everyone for coming today to Rock Your Path. This is the first presentation where we're going to talk about finding a path to reach your goals. Myself, I'm Jamie Richter, and Sara Leiste have been working together to help people across the district get better at utilizing pathways and get more comfortable with the technology. And what we realized is that learning how to use the technology is one piece of the puzzle. But a lot of people are just having different issues, and they just need a chance to talk to other people and really understand what paths are available, what kind of projects they're doing, what you can do for the different projects. So we put together this series based on the feedback of the people that we are working with. This first one is really finding the right path to fit your goals. We'll spend about 20 to 30 minutes with this educational piece, and then the second half will actually allow you to ask questions, role play, really help you get better at questions that you're going to get from your club or even questions that you personally have within Pathways. I did lie a little bit though. I left out a piece. When you're finding your first path, or even your second or third path, what I'm finding is that people that haven't thought about their goals or prepared for them aren't getting what they wanted out of Pathways in the first place. Therefore, we're going to start with the foundation, and I'm going to share why. Have you ever seen a man in a wood shop work through his projects? I have a wood shop right out back. I see it on a regular basis. The morning my husband goes out, I'm assuming he's going to make something wonderful, and I go about my day. 10 minutes later, you see the truck going by. 2 hours later, it comes back, and he's bringing a bunch of stuff to the outbuilding. Oh, looks like he found a project. That's wonderful. Then you see the truck leave again and come back. He's late for lunch. He comes storming in. A 15-minute project always takes all day, and I never have everything that I need. Goes, stomps back out. See the truck leave again. Come back. You know, supper, you're going to hear more than just regular words, and you're going to have to close the ears of your kids because you know that project didn't go very well. Typically, what happens in the shop is the guy comes in and says, I'm going to make this today. He picks up some wood, starts cutting, starts working, and before you know it, he doesn't have the right screws. He goes to the store. He comes back with more things than he even needed in the first place. He starts working again, realizes, I need some glue. Goes back to the store. Comes back. Starts cutting and realizes, I'm out of this wood. I need to go back to the store. The issue isn't that he doesn't have enough stuff. The issue is that most of the time they fail to plan. They fail to see what all they have and what it takes to build a project, so they go to the store once. They also don't always measure the different pieces of wood to make sure they're maximizing the pieces that they have. Therefore, a 15-minute project sometimes takes weeks and several trips to that store. Pathways can be the same way. If you just choose a path and you start going, you can find out that that path is going in a different direction than what you wanted. Therefore, today, we're going to build a foundation. We're really going to understand what your goals are. We're going to have that foundation in place. And then we're going to talk about the different paths that are available and some of the different resources that you have available above and beyond just Pathways. I want all of you to have some paper out and take some notes because we're really going to help you think through some of this process. With any foundation, you really want 3 pedestals, something to hold you solid. You may say 4 is the right number. We can argue about that later. For today, we're going to tell you what those 3 pedestals are. The first one is thinking about where are you at today? I want you to write that down. Where are you at today with your career, with your family, with your life, with your goals? What do you like about what's going on right now? What do you not like about what's going on? It could be related to COVID and everything going on in the world, or just where you're personally at in your life. I want you to write that down. That's very important. When you think about traveling, if you want to go to Florida, but you don't know where you're starting from, how are you supposed to know how to get there? The second pedestal is where do you want to get to? For some of us, it's easy. We have a 5-year plan. We know exactly where we want to be. Some of us, it's not as obvious. Either we've achieved a lot of our goals and we're trying to figure out, what do I want to do next? What is that project in the woodshop? And some of us just don't really know where our future is headed. What I want you to think about is look back at where you're at today. What are some of the things that you don't like? What are some of the things that you want to keep? I was talking with someone on this call earlier about some of the things I actually kind of like from working from home. Minimizing that commute time, not having to drive all over Minneapolis to get to different meetings and things that I have to do in the evenings. I actually, many days, get to see the sunrise and the sunset, which doesn't always happen when I'm in an office building all day. Think about, what do you want that to look like in the future as things start opening up again? I also have a very important question for you, and I want you to write down, what can you do this year to tangibly make your life better? What is one thing that you can do this year? Then, for the third pedestal, you need to think about who's in your crew. Who are the people around you who are going to help you reach your goals? Who's your cheerleader that's going to tell you, go girl, go guy, you got this, great speech? Who's that person who's going to lift you up? Who's that thoughtful person that always knows what to say and can listen really well when you just need someone to listen? Who's that planner who's going to ask you when you say what your goal is, what's your plan to get there? Who's that person who's going to give you that thoughtful feedback that's really going to help you get to the next step? Who's the dreamer who's going to help you figure out what that next step is? Who are those people in your life that you connect with on a regular basis who help you reach your goals? And who do you help reach their goals? I want you to write those people down. Some of you are going to have 2 or 3. You're the type of person who really gets to know people and you only have a couple of really important friends. Some of you will be like me, where you'll have 30 plus names on the list. It's okay. The important thing is that you know who's in your crew. And then I want you to look at your crew. Look at the people that you wrote down and ask yourself, when's the last time I talked with them? Not the last time you saw them in a Zoom meeting. Not the last time you said hi from 5 feet away. When's the last time you really talked with them? Do you know how they feel about what's going on in the world today? Do you know what their goals are? Do they know what your goals are? Have they been able to help you move forward with your goals? For anyone that you haven't talked with in the last 6 months, you need to think about, are they really still in your crew? I have some people where they aren't. We're just in different directions. We live in different parts of the state. We just don't talk with each other anymore, and that's okay. When we do see each other, we'll be very happy to see each other and talk. But we're not necessarily regular meeting, and we're okay with that. There are others that I feel terrible that I haven't met with, and I made a point to reach out and say hi and ask them how things are going, what their plans are for 2021, what they're excited about. It was a good wake-up call for me to realize that there are some people that are very important in my life that I haven't connected with, that I should have, that will help me do better in 2021. Take that time to write out the 3 pieces of your foundation. Where are you at? Where do you want to get to? And who's in your crew? This is what's going to help you drive forward with your goals. Once you've built your foundation, then you can start thinking about your goals. Studies show, though, that only 3% of the population actually has goals, and only 1% writes them down. I've seen several studies that show the same thing. Why is that? I know why I often don't write down my goals. There's a lot of pressure to have a SMART goal, specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound goals in 2 to 3 short, specific sentences. How do you do that? Most people start thinking about it. They try to get in those sentences. It doesn't sound right, and they just give up and they move on because they ultimately, at the end of the day, need to accomplish something. My message to you today is it doesn't have to be perfect. Perfection actually slows progress. But you do have to think about your goals. You need to think about what you want. this year? What is it that you're going to do this year that will tangibly make your life better? And no more than 3 things. Typically, if you have more than 3 goals, you're less likely to achieve any of them, much less some of them. So pick 3 things that you really want to focus on this year. Within Toastmasters, the 3 things that I chose is I wanted some experience in finance and project management. I wanted to get better at networking with people, and I wanted to get better at my presentations. Those were the 3 things. They're not SMART goals. I didn't have 2 sentences. Those were 3 things. I wrote them on my piece of paper, and then I started to put bullets. How am I going to make this happen? Who's going to help me with this? Who's going to mentor me? How do I know that I've achieved this goal? How do I know whether to be happy or frustrated with my results? What do I do if I'm not happy with my results? I started bullying it out. It's not a perfect sentence by any means. It's really just something for me to think about. What do I want and how am I going to make it happen? Not only that, but within the SMART framework, when do I want to get this done by? And how do I know I'm complete? I really want you to think about your goals. If you don't know what your goals are, how are you supposed to know if the path is going to make you happy? Once you've written down your goals, we've built the foundation, we've written out your goals, then we can start planning on how we're going to make this happen. There are 3 resources that I have found to help me achieve my goals within Toastmasters. Pathways helps a lot. Your club helps a lot. And the district has a lot of opportunities. We're going to go through each one. We will start with Pathways, since that's what I told you we would go through today, and then we will go through the other 2. I'm going to share my screen. Pathways is in Toastmasters International. You'll go to www.toastmasters.org and log in. You'll get to the homepage. Everything you need for Pathways is under the Pathways link. If you have ever done a training with me, I've always told you that Basecamp is the only place you need to go to. There's no point in going anywhere else because everything's in Basecamp. There's one fact that I left out. If you go to Pathways and learn more, this is actually a really good starting point to understand what is Pathways. It has a nice video. What are the different paths available to you and how to use it. It even has a sample of the first project, the icebreaker speech, and some other facts. We're going to spend some time today on the paths themselves. There's 11 different paths available to you at this point in time. They've all been labeled thoughtfully based on the different things that they've told Toastmasters that Toastmasters have wanted. We're going to go through one of them, but you can click into any one of these that sound interesting to you. I'm going to go to visionary communication. This is a path that I chose when I wanted to get better at public speaking and presentations. Then you can see the 5 levels within that path. Every path has 5 different levels. The first 2 levels are fairly similar in every path. In fact, the first level is the same, exactly the same in every path. The second level is focused on mentoring, leadership, and communication, things that every club member needs to keep a club strong. Just slightly different focuses based on the specific paths you chose. Then levels 3, 4, and 5 get really specific for your goals. You have some specific projects that you have to do, and then you have electives that you can choose from. You can click on it and scroll down, and you can see the different electives. This is really how you can choose your path. I was really excited about this path. I wanted to get project management skills, and I wanted to get better at my presentations. And this one really helps with that. I had to create a communication plan. That was part of my role as the Pathways Education Chair for the district. And then several of these projects really get into the presentations. I did the using descriptive language project not too long ago, and it gave me several exercises to help me be more deliberate in the words that I choose and more descriptive when I'm telling stories. As you get through the levels, the projects get more complicated and more in depth. This is your starting point. This is how you choose the path that's going to be closest to what you're looking for with your goals. One of the things that you're going to notice is Toastmasters is about public speaking. All of these projects do have a speech involved with them, whether it's specifically an icebreaker where the whole project is a speech, or delivering a communication plan where the speech is about what your plan is and how it went. There will be speeches throughout. Not only that, but you may have more specific goals that Toastmasters International doesn't specifically focus on. I know some people that wanted to create websites, some people that wanted to be better at editing videos. We have photographers in the district that want more practice with their photography. I'm the finance manager this year as well, where I get to get some more finance and P&L, budgeting, things like that. That's where you use the other options. You use your club and use the district to help you get experience in the other roles. We'll talk about that in a minute. Before that, though, once you've figured out the projects that you're interested in, or if you get stuck, you're like, hey, there's several that are great, or I don't really know which one fits what I want. That's where we go back to Basecamp. If you click on Pathways and go to Basecamp, there's an assessment here. If you click on Continue to Path Selection, don't worry about clicking some of these things. You won't have to pay until you actually select a path, and if you have a free path, that's okay too. You do have to click Select Digital or Select Printed Materials to get further to do the assessment. You once again can look at all of the path options, or you can take the online assessment. This online assessment is really interesting. It's a series of questions to help the tool understand what you're looking for from Toastmasters. So what are some things that you want to work on? I wanted to work on public speaking, project planning. I'm going to put motivating others. I can't remember exactly what I wanted. Which of the following topics is most related to my goals? You're just going to go through and answer how you feel. There's no perfect answers here. Now I'm just going to click some so you get to the end. And you're just going to choose your gut reaction. Looks like my internet's a bit slow today, so we won't get to the end, but once you get there, it's going to show you 3 paths that the tool recommends based on how you answer the questions, and then the rest of the paths will be below. Once again, you'll be able to click on them and see the individual projects, but you have some direction based on how you answer the questions, what paths may be a better fit for you. The one caution I have for you with this is the fact that if you have multiple goals, but you're only using Toastmaster for a portion of those goals, sometimes this comes out differently than you expect. I had a conversation with a young man that was very frustrated because his path was all about leadership skills, but he wanted to get better at public speaking. That's why he came to Toastmasters. And when we talked through it, I realized that leadership skills are in his goals. There were several things he wanted to work on, but he had another route to reach those goals, and he thought of Toastmasters just being the speaking part. But when he answered the quiz, he answered based on his full length of goals. Therefore, his path was more based on leadership than necessarily public speaking. It wasn't like the presentation mastery or the humorous speaking. Be mindful of that. It's okay. Either way, you just have to think about what are you trying to get out of Toastmasters and what are you trying to get out of your path. Once you've selected your path, then you need to think about what else do I want from Toastmasters. That's where your club and district can help. When you think about your club, you're not paying for people to lead your club. That's all a voluntary thing. That's all coming from your club. You do need a president, and ideally a new president every year that's going to bring in some new perspective and energy. You need a vice president of education that's going to motivate members to do speeches and be organized and keep an agenda and make sure every meeting there's an agenda. You need to have PR and membership people to help bring new members into the club. You need to have a sergeant at arms to make sure you have a meeting space, a Zoom, and everything's set up. You need to have your treasurer and secretary. Not only that, but most clubs have different events that they're doing. They're doing open houses, they're doing contests, some are doing officer trainings, and they need someone to host that and put everything together. Some clubs have websites. I have one club that has a YouTube channel. There are different things, different experiences that you can get by serving your club in different ways. If you have something you're really wanting to get experience with, talk with your president and VP of education or just your club in general to see what opportunities are there within your club to help lead your club. And lastly, we're going to talk about the district. I didn't really know what was above and beyond my club until I was 3 or 4 years in to Toastmasters. I didn't realize there was more. All I knew was that I came to the club meeting every Thursday. You'll come to realize over time there's a big world out there within Toastmasters. You not only have your club, but 3 or 4 clubs make up an area, and you have an area director. That's a volunteer role that you can sign up for, helps lead those different clubs, visits them several times, helps them with contests and events, and helps them find the resources that they're looking for. There's 3 or 4 areas within a division, and there's also a division director that really helps those area directors help their clubs. Then you have the district. Our district is District 6. It's Minneapolis and South, so southern Minnesota. And then we have another District 106 in northern Minnesota. It's St. Paul in north. I don't know how many districts there are, but we have District 106 right next to us. So we have a lot of districts within Toastmasters. The districts have a lot of different roles to help serve their body. We have the district trio. They really lead the district. We have a finance manager because the districts get money to help their clubs and to help promote Toastmasters. We have PR, getting more people interested in Toastmasters. We have a whole host of roles, not only formal roles, but also there's several events that the district does every year. All of these events need to be run by someone, need to be organized by someone. We also have a website that needs to be run by someone. We have a YouTube channel. We have a lot of different opportunities for you to grow. If you are looking for different opportunities for different experiences, talk with any of our district leaders. Talk with your area director. Email me. I put my email in the chat. Talk about what you're looking for and we can help you find a role. That's how I found my roles this year. I talked with our division director, Suzanne Rajamandari, and he said, I'd love to have you on my team. And we built the roles out based on what I was looking to get out of this year. This happened last year. It's that easy, and people are always willing to mentor you and help you through the process. I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope this got you thinking not only about pathways, but also your goals in general and how to build a foundation to really reach your goals and be happy with what you've gotten out of Toastmasters. If there's anything else I can help with, I am the Pathways Education Chair, and I did put my email in chat. I'd love to hear from you and help you with anything that you need.